everybody? It's your boy King Gabe here, live with the 18th weekly update, and just chilling. After I had to say, got home from the usual day at work. Had to say, nothing out of the ordinary there, and now I'm just chilling. Uh, say Queen Tina, she'll be off in a little bit there, but I'll probably nibble on just something to hold me over till it's time for dinner there. So but yeah, like I said, I wanted to go and do this before I did there. Got a little something interesting, which you saw in the thumbnail. Probably can guess what it is that I'm going to get to in this weekly update here. Is actually, and the reason why is because it just occurred to me. I probably should have mentioned this. Um, I could have mentioned, I could have mentioned it during our Scooby Doo review that's coming up. Uh, but yeah, it's more that that's more focused with the live action movie. Um, but I could have actually mentioned it in the Halloween tales, even though it's not really scary, but it's kind of a Halloween comedy. The Johnny Bravo Scooby Doo crossover. Yeah, it's like a Halloween comedy there, because most all the episodes, anything involving Scooby Doo usually does involve, the monster and the mask and stuff like that, unless you start looking at stuff like Zombie Island and everything there. Um, so yeah, that so and I guess I could also give a not a whole lot, but just a brief little something about Scooby Doo, because we probably mention some things in the review when we're talking about the movie that kind of comes to mind as we're talking about the movie there. Um, so anyway, like I say, it's almost kind of make me think like I'm John. I almost think like I'm John Arbuckle when he be at the table. Oh, hello, Garfield. so, um, so anyway, pretty much, like I say, a lot of what I talked about in the 17th weekly update, with Yumeko Novel 4. Definitely check that out. Yeah, like I say, these weekly updates are really important to check out. That way you can keep up week to week of what's going on. Like I say, don't get me wrong. The other, the other videos and live streams and even shorts are important as well. Don't get me wrong, but the weekly update can actually focuses in on the current week to week there. And like I say, it will, and some, kind of mixed up a little bit, probably talk about some other things and stuff like that. But the main focus of the weekly update is, week to week. What's gonna happen this week? What's gonna happen that week? And maybe some stuff that's we're planning to come up. Then, then you come in on the next weekly update. Well, we still have plans for that, but we got to change this, and so that, yeah, that way, like, then like, just say if we planned a, just for example, like if we planned the softball game, I'm just throwing that as an example. If we planned like a softball game, say, um, like at the last day of November, and I mentioned it in this weekly update. But then, say a couple of weeks later, something's or maybe it starts to get close to that, but something kind of comes up that out of our control that gets in the way of it, and maybe we gotta reschedule it or something like that. That's what the next weekly update can fill you in on that, even if it is last minute, but out of our control. You'll at least know it's coming. Then you won't get to the data and be like, oh, I thought they were having a softball game. What happened, Miracle Crew? So yeah. So how come I don't see Gabe and EJ playing against Big Sis Case and Queen Tina in the softball tournament? So yeah. So that's why this is important with these weekly updates there. Yeah. Um so yeah, about Yumiko Novel 4. Um I did actually get past the first chapter. I'm in the third chapter, and I'm close to putting in where they're about to go to Uranus and everything, and they get the message from the Phantom Master, just like in the play reading. So the third chapter is pretty much where they're going to go into it. It's act so and what it is. Um, Anybody who hasn't seen like the play reading or even like previous videos before the play reading where I was, getting the script together, when I had, I had a, I had a full length version of the script or just, full original version. Then I had to go back and shorten it a bit and change a few things to make it where it was 10 minutes there, for the play fest. But I still got, you know, how the script was before I had to change it. I still got that in the computer. Is one thing Sherry told me about. Don't make best thing. Just you can make some change to it, but don't get rid of what you originally have because like I say, the plan is that later in the springtime that we can make something work with the extended version there, and even and not only that, but even like look into making it bigger from just sitting at the table reading it, where we actually perform it there, have some actors and everything, but some actors move from what we were uh you know last month when we was doing the reading. Um so one reason I brought that up from that version, before I shortened it down to where it was just pretty much where the only I think characters that were in the shortened version of the play was basically we had to have a narrator to kind of get through it, through the shortened version. Now, of course, there isn't a narrator in the novel version because, of course, the novel is a different format from the play, and the play is focusing on just that Uranus thing that's involved around it, whereas the novel it is focused on it, but you got but it's a little more extended, and you got some more stuff leading up to it. That whereas the play, you got to just pretty much get to the main point. Um, One of the differences, when the shortened version, you have the narrator, you have Brownie, the Phantom Master and his henchmen, and then of course Anna, who he had kidnapped, and then there was the suit computer. Yeah, the suit computer. That was pretty much the only cat in the shortened version. The extended version had all those characters, but it also had because the narrator mentioned about Billy, the penguin, Billy Webster. So you actually did. I actually they did. Now they weren't. It was just pretty much at the beginning of the play. You had Billy, and now it's making me think of this of the YouTuber Sort of Stupid when they say Billy. uh, so he had Billy. Um, he had Gerald the Gator, Gerald Miller's, and Dashtail Evans, of course, and there was an additional character. When I first chance I get, I'm gonna ask Casey if she can find the this other character, Francine Fluffles, who's supposed to be Mr. Fluffles' adoptive daughter, and she's a rabbit. And that's another reason to say she's his adoptive daughter, that he adopted at some point before the events of what's taking place in this story. Um, but yet the reason I say I ask Casey if she can find her because this was that I actually had it's actually a rabbit that I had once, and what it was, I'm trying to think when I got that rabbit. It was a while back ago. Matter of fact, there was a YouTuber that I used to talk to. I hadn't heard from her in a while. Real nice person though. But I hadn't heard. So I assume she's probably doing some into some things there. Cause I think she even had she had a fiance too when when I talked with her and every times I've talked with her and everything, because she bought some books from me. So yeah, it was kind of talking and stuff like that. She did some live streams. Real big Sonic fan. But I think I mentioned her on one of my other channels, Taylor Grant. That's what her name. But I mentioned her on some of my old channels there. She the thing she had a thing. She also was kind of working part-time with Amazon, selling I'm not completely sure how exactly it worked, but I know that that is a thing that they they have they be advertised like people sell stuff for Amazon. So she was doing that, and so I helped, since she had bought, she had got some of my books and everything, so I helped her out a little bit by purchasing this little rabbit there, from her, for for what she was doing. And I thought, I thought, probably I would use that rabbit in like a story or something. And turns out I did, but I didn't back then. But I actually gave the rabbit to Casey as a present, at some point, not too long ago. Um, and Casey came up with this idea. So Mr. Fluffle's daughter is actually an idea from Casey given to the book. Um, she mentioned about, she looked at the rabbit and everything. She's like, I think this could be Mr. Fluffle's adoptive daughter for the series there. Hmm. So so that's how that got started there. We put so that's why I said I asked her so I get a picture. So so Francine, she was in there briefly a moment. Now, of course, now so then when it got shortened, they got taken out. However, though, for the book, for the fourth novel, she actually would not be present. She is in the book, in the flashback, as a new student that Brownie, Gerald, Dashdale, and Billy meet for the first time in the flashback before the rescue trip to Uranus, along with another student, which is a pig named Jaleisha, who's kind of shy and not and kind of real nervous and everything. And there's gonna be a reason why. Like I say, it's not a whole lot of focus on Francine and Jaleisha in the story. They're just, they come and then, then we go to, what, the main part of the story. But by bringing them in just for that brief moment, this is, yeah, like, I wonder what's up with that Jaleisha girl. And I'm gonna get more about this Francine girl there. So yeah, it will definitely, that those minor appearances are gonna lead to something in a later book there. So that's and especially like I say, both well, actually both of them, yes, because there's actually, and it's also what it's going to lead to is actually going to be also something that will involve Emily. So that's going to be an interesting thing to look forward to. But I ain't going to say what it is yet. But like I say, it's coming. It'll probably be a while because, like I say, after I write novel number 4, as I mentioned before, gonna do the first. Gonna get novel number 4 out. Get the rough draft. Take a break for the holidays. Then then come back from the holidays and try to get. Oh yeah, also get Bubblina, the first Bubblina novel published. More than likely, because I go on vacation from Kroger from November the 9th to the 15th, right before the holidays, before the holiday rush at the store. So probably between now and my vacation, we'll be sending Bubblina 4 off to get published, and should have the rough draft. And I plan to have the rough draft done at the same time, but I'm not sending it off or anything just yet. I just want to have it done. That way, when I come back from the holidays, when I after I took a break for the holidays, next year at the beginning of the New Year's, I can look at that rough draft, and while it's getting, and get it proof, not only get it proof, but also use it to figure, okay, let's see, how am I gonna, okay, I'm gonna write the play. Let's see, okay, maybe I'll put that in there, maybe put that in there, yeah, and how, the how to make the, so I can have a guideline for the play version, which we plan to do in spring, and also know what all I need as far as materials and stuff for that, and we can be ready when it's gonna be either spring or summer. That's what Sherry told us. Anywhere between spring to summer there. So um, if it be the summertime, that would give me some more time there, and probably even be able to have book number four published. So that way, it's like, hey, hope y'all enjoyed the play, and I got book number four out too. I got the book version here, so yeah, and along with one through three, and with that completed, with that novel completed, and then the play completed, be working on the first Star Striker novel rough draft. And then after the Star Striker novel is done and completed, the first Wild Done novel. So that way we have our different a start of our different universes there. Well, kind of shared multiverse and yada yada yada. So Star Striker shares the same universe with Yumiko. Wild On kind of does, but it's in its own Earth and everything, but it still has a connection with it there. Like I say, sort of like Fantastic Four to the MCU. So yeah, kind of like that. So oh man. Okay. Okay. Hate when I'm starting these live streams and then somebody interrupt me. Okay,